Hello you guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this hat. The colors I chose for my hat are red and a black trim, which is totally optional. Your hat can be all one color. The things you're going to need to create this hat are going to be a pair of scissors. You're going to need a crochet hook, and that's the size I'm going to be using right there. You're also going to be needing a needle for yarn, which is optional. This would be if you want to place the flower in it. If not, you won't need this. And also you're going to need a safety pin, and this is sort of optional as well, but it really helps me when I'm crocheting a hat. So these are the tools you're going to need, and then a color yarn of your choice. I'm going to begin by placing my hook, rotating it around, and I'm going to create a chain of 3. Once you're done with your chain, you're going to rotate it around. You're going to come to the last part of the braid, and you're going to bring it out. And you're going to start a little line. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go twice into each little hole. So I'm going to go back to the one I went to. I'm going to bring it out. Now I'm going to wrap my hook around again. I'm going to go to another part of the braid. Bring it out. I'm going to go back into the same part of the braid I went into. Bring it in. I'm going to go around to a different part of the braid. Bring those 3 out. I'm going to continue doing this all around the braid, going in twice into each little part of the braid. Here I've completed 1 row. I'm going to go into a second row, and I'm going to be doing this second row the same way. I'm going to be going in between each little hole twice. Here I finished row 2. Now I'm going to start row 3, and I'm going to continue doing the same thing, going in between each little hole twice. All we're doing is expanding the circle. This is going to be the base for our hat. All I'm doing is going all around this 3rd row, going in twice into each little hole. So here we have the 3 rows. You can see 1, 2, 3. What I like to do in this stage, I get a safety pin, and I like to place it right where I left off, because I know that when I come back around, I've already completed a full circle again. So I know that it's going to be the head of the safety pin. So when I go, I'm right here. When I go all the way around, that's going to be a new row I'm going to be working on. So for the 4th row, all I'm going to do is just go in once through each little hole, all around the 4th row. I've ended my row 4. Now I'm going to start row 5. The way we're going to do row 5 is we're going to go in singles 3 times. There's 1, 2, and 3. And the 4th one is going to be a double. So I'm going to go in twice into this little hole. There's 1. I'm going to go in the same little hole. There's 2. The next will be 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. And the next one's going to be a double. So we're going to follow that pattern all around row 5. 3 singles, 1 double. I've ended row 5. Now I'm going to start row 6, and all we're going to do on row 6 is go in 1 time. All around row 6, it's just going in once. Now I'm starting row 7, and we're going to follow the same pattern. We're going to go in 3 times into 3 loops. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go in twice into the 4th one. 1, 2. And we're going to follow that same pattern all around row 7. Now I'm starting row 8, and you can see little by little it's getting bigger and bigger. So what I'm going to do for row 8 is just go in single once into every little loop all around row 8. I'm done with row 8. I'm about to start row 9, and we're going to do the same pattern we've been following on several of our rows. I'm going to go into 3 singles, 1, 2, and 3, and the next one's going to be a double. So I'm going to go in twice into the same hole. There's 1 and 2. Followed by this, it'll be 3 singles, and I'm just going to continue this pattern over all around row 9. I've completed row 9. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to finish 2 rows only in singles. So for 2 rows, which is row 10 and 11, I'm just going to go singles all around. Here we have the top piece of our hat. Little by little, the corners are going to begin to round themselves in, tightening little by little. So we're going to begin tightening the corners all around of our hat. To begin tightening our hat little by little all around, what we're going to do is 2 singles. There's 1, 2, and the next one is going to be, we're going to go in, going to go into the second one, and all these 4, we're going to join them together. So that's the pattern we're going to be following all around. So it's 2 singles, so it's 1, close it off, go into the other one, close it off. On the third one, we're going to go into one, into another one, join them all together, and close them off. So all around row 13, that's what we're going to be doing, following that pattern. This is the inside part of our hat, and you could see that with row 12, it began to curl in, and that's how it's gonna, the sides is gonna stay. Now, depending on how tight you want your hat, you could continue the same pattern until it's as tight as you want it. This is the size that I'm gonna want it, so it's just 1 row of the pattern I just showed you. So what I'm gonna do from here on, I'm just going to continue doing the single over each one until I have it as long as I need it, so that I could just fold it and it could be ready for the trim. So I'm just going to continue going all around, just adding a single. I've ended up doing 10 rows, and this is the part where I'm going to be folding. But I want to give it a different color trim. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it with the scissors. And the trim color I'm going to be using is black. So all I'm going to do is join these 2 together. I have the 2 colors here. I'm going to make a little loop. I'm going to bring the little tail in through the loop, and I'm just going to knot them together. Now I'm just going to cut off the excess, and I'm going to begin my trim in black. So I'm going to finish off the last I have left of the red. Okay, and right here what I'm going to start doing is beginning the trim of my hat. So I'm going to bring them all in. I'm going to go up 3 times. So there's 1, 2, and 3, a chain of 3. I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to go inside the new chain I've created and bring it in. And I'm going to go a little bit lower and bring them all in. So here I have this little piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around my crochet hook. I'm going to skip this little hole and bring it to the next one. Hook it up there. Close it in and do another chain of 3. There's 1 little loop, 2 little loops, and 3 little loops. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into my little chain, close it off. I'm going to go a little bit lower, close it off, and there I have the other little piece. So I'm going to wrap it around my crochet hook. I'm going to skip the next one and go into the third one. And that's what I'm going to be doing all around. There you can see that's the trim I'm going to have. So I'm going to do this all around the trim of my hat. I've gone all the way around with my trim, and this right here is where I ended. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut with the scissors. Right there, I'm going to bring the thread in, and I'm going to make a knot. A knot of 3. It's up to you to decide exactly how you finish off your hat. I always finish off with a knot, and I've never had any kind of problem with my hats falling apart when I wash them or when I wear them. So I'm just going to knot it 3 times. Here's the completed hat with the black trim. You can see the top, it's nice and rounded, and from the sides all around the black trim. What I'm going to do next is completely optional. I'm going to be adding a flower to my hat. Now this flower, I already showed you guys how to create these flowers on a previous video, and this step is totally optional. You could range them in size, and the reason this one's kind of big is because I mixed the red and the black yarn. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to be attaching this flower to my hat. Here I have a yarn needle, so all I'm going to do is get my red yarn, place it in between, and create a little knot. I'm going to place my flower exactly where I want it, and that's the area where I want it. So I'm going to get my needle. I'm going to come to the inside. Let me flip it over. Right where the center of the flower is. You can see the little needle coming in from there. And I'm going to bring it all the way out. And I'm going to go all around the center of my flower. And here's the completed hat. I'm going to show you the top. That's how the top looks. And here is the flower area, and then all around the black trim. And that's it. That's how you're going to get this hat done. I hope you guys enjoyed this crochet hat tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Bye.